Hello, YouTube! Happy December. I hope your holidays have been going well. Whether or not you celebrate them, I hope you've been having a good time with family. Today, I'm coming to you to show you what my local food pantry has given me for this month. Before I get started, I do want to say that every food pantry is different, and even with my food pantry, the stuff that I get is way different depending on what they are given and what they are able to purchase. And my food pantry tends to give you a lot for the one trip because you're only allowed to come once every 30 days. Other food pantries, you can come once a week or a couple times a week, so they might not give you as much in one go. But I wanted to make this video to sort of show you guys what you might find in a food pantry, because I feel like people typically think they only have canned goods and there's no point in me going because like I have enough cans already or I don't know what to do with them, so it wouldn't be worth going. But if you are in need of food and you have a food pantry available, it is always worth it to go and at least see what they have. And at the very least, if it's something that you won't use, you don't have to take it. They are giving it to you completely free, no strings attached. So if it's something that you know you won't need and somebody else might be able to use it, you don't have to accept it. But just to give you guys a little bit of a confidence booster and even trying to go, I want to start showing you guys what I will be receiving in my monthly boxes. And I will be going to the food pantry once a month, probably for a while. I just got a new job, and I took a significant pay cut compared to my previous job. And then we had some unexpected life happenings, and my budget is completely wiped. So unfortunately, that is my circumstance. However, I am doing what is best for my family and trying to get back on top after those major events have happened. So, without further ado, let's get started over here in the section that everybody assumes they're going to get when they go to a food pantry. Obviously, we got the staples of pasta, beans, and rice. I usually get these three in every single box. However, the amount differs each time. This is the first time I've gotten whole wheat pasta, so that's kind of nice. And then typically my food pantry seems to always have the same 2-pound bag of beans in stock, but there's a 1-pound bag this time, which totally fine. I love beans. These will be eaten. And rice. Rice goes with so many things. It's packaged in this bag because, contrary to popular belief, it is better to give money to food pantries if you're able to instead of cans, because typically people use canned food drives as a way to clean out their pantries or, in essence, shop for somebody else, and they tend to either donate expired things, and I'm okay with eating expired cans if I find them in my own pantry, but most food pantries will not re-gift those to people. And then also, you tend to get some weird things when people donate. But when you give money to a food pantry, they are able to buy food at wholesale prices. And so, like this bag of rice, they probably bought this in like a big tub, and then they had somebody come through and weigh out a 1-pound bag of rice. Like a volunteer come out and weigh this out. So that's just my little tidbit there. Over here, we've got 1 can of tuna in water, and then a can of chicken, 1 cup noodle, a macaroni and cheese. I'm not gonna lie. This mac and cheese is not good. It's kind of bland, doesn't really have a lot of flavor, but if you brown up some meat and add some garlic and onion powder, it tastes just like a kind of hamburger helper. Like, it's super palatable if you just like mix it into something or add to it, but just by itself it's not that great. But I mean, it's edible. If you didn't have any spices, totally edible. I'm so grateful. I don't want to sound ungrateful on any of these things that I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, adding to it can make it better. I've got one applesauce, and then behind it, these are unpeeled apricot halves, a can of pears, 2 cans of tomato sauce, a can of sliced white potatoes. I've never had canned potatoes before. And the internet is always your best friend. If you don't know what to do with some of this stuff, ask the internet. They are amazing people, the internet users. Jar of peanut butter is a staple. I always get that in every box. Can of corn, low sodium tomato sauce. If you're not into just tomato sauce, you can totally just use this the way you would like a plain tomato sauce. It's just slightly seasoned, and you can totally just replace it as your tomato in whatever you're cooking. And then we got a can of diced tomatoes, a can of black beans, and a can of green beans. And behind those, I've got a bag of cornflakes. And behind the cornflakes, these are mine. Like, this is just canola oil, an oil spray, and a butter spray, I think. So those are my things back there, but got some cornflakes. And then we got this big bag of pancake mix. It says, just add water on the side. So this makes a really great donate item. Great donate items if you do a food drive rather than cans, spices and things like this where you only need to add water, or things like this back here. This is a packet of non-fat dry milk. A lot of food pantries get a lot of cereal, whether donated to them or at wholesale price, but things like milk are very, not rarely, but not as often donated. And also cans with pop tabs. Those are much easier to donate. You have a lot of people who lost their house, they've moved out, they've had some life happens, and they don't have a can opener. So pop tab ones are very good to donate if you are going to donate cans. So that's the pantry stuff. And then over here, this is all of the stuff that people don't typically think they would receive if they went to a food pantry. And I wanted to start with the produce. I have 2 bags of red seedless grapes. I don't know how many pounds this would be. I'm guessing at least 4 pounds of grapes. So this is like whatever time you're buying grapes. I know you can get them on sale for 99 cents a pound, but outside of that, these can be up to like $2 or $3 a pound. So that's really nice. Got a packet of organic green bell peppers. And that's gonna fall. Stay there. And then underneath it, we have 2 zucchini. Behind those, some French green beans, a packet of baby romaine lettuce, and then a bag of red potatoes. And then over here, I have 2 bags of organic green kale. And for the most part, I'm probably going to put the green beans and the kale in the freezer to save for later in the month. However, with the kale, you want to like go through the bag. This is actually the same with everything. With any vegetables that you get, or meat, or even the bread, you want to go through and make sure there's no slimy bits, there's no like brown bits, the same way you would look at it if you were getting like a clearance item. Like I looked at those green beans earlier, completely fine. However, this bag right here does kind of have like this off color section, and it's not slimy, so I haven't decided if I'm going to wash this yet. Does it say? Oh no, it says wash before eating anyway. So I will go ahead and empty these out, give them a wash, and then put them on a baking sheet, and then freeze it flat, and then crumble it up after it's not frozen. Or after it is frozen, sorry, and then put it in a bag so that way it's not like a block of kale. I will have individual pieces of kale that I can grab and toss into something. And now you don't have to freeze it. You could totally use this right away in something raw or cooked or whatever, but that's just what I'm going to do to make it last further in the week, or in the month rather. So that's just another tip there. This lettuce also, I don't really recommend freezing lettuce. I don't know what you would do with it after it thaws out, because it will lose its integrity. but look, it's so fresh. It has the roots on the bottom, so we will definitely just be making salads right away with these things. And then we have a couple packaged things. This is a 5-cheese tricolor signature tortellini. Looks like Walmart tried to put that on clearance and nobody wanted it, so either they donated it or the food pantry bought it. I haven't asked. I kind of want to ask, maybe I will, if they buy these things or if they're donated. But either way, tortellini. And then we have a pasta salad. It looks like they froze this already, so I'm just going to stick it back in the freezer. And when you want to eat it, you just thaw it and you're good to go. And then a packet of pineapple chunks. The date has already passed on these, but these smell so good. Like, these are not going to make it into the refrigerator. I will probably eat these like today. But if you weren't going to eat them, you totally could freeze them. And you don't have to put it in anything special. Just keep it in this container, stick it in the freezer, and save it for later, like a smoothie or something. Moving on to the meats. These are, I can't tell you how much these weigh. Oh, I think this one's a half a pound. And then this one, I have no idea. Probably less than half a pound because it's a small amount. But these are totally frozen. They gave them to me frozen. And yeah, I don't know how long they've been sitting there, but these totally 100% freeze perfectly. You just thaw them out. They are honey turkey. No problem with that there. And then over here, there's a pack of sizzle steak, completely frozen. You know, frozen meat, whatever. You stick it in the freezer when you get home. Over here, this is a whole boneless, skinless turkey breast. This thing is huge, and it's completely frozen. They gave it to me frozen, and I didn't notice this, but it says it's fully cooked. I've never seen something like that. This totally looks like you could just like slice it for sandwiches. If you can't afford deli meat, just make your own. Like, season this on the outside, stick it in the oven, boom, deli meat. We've got a packet of ground beef. Definitely gonna have to wipe my counter down after that. But this is also frozen. I guess it just like slightly melted on the outside. Frozen meat. And interestingly enough, my food pantry does repackage prepared foods. So like when a restaurant has extra of something, they'll donate it. Like these right here, these are some chicken and biscuit sandwiches. And in my freezer already, from this same food pantry, they gave me like biscuits. Probably from the same place, but yeah, biscuits. And then back to what I actually got. I have a whole rotisserie chicken. Anybody seen that Vine? No, it's not Vine. What is it called? TikTok. My bad. Whole rotisserie chicken. And then 2 packets of fried chicken. It says chilled 8-piece fried chicken, perishable, keep refrigerated. These ones I will probably also put on a cookie sheet and then freeze them flat and then take them up and put them in a container, because these containers aren't sealed. They have these little holes in them. So I want to be able to put these in something. This one is chilled 8-piece fried chicken. It's the same thing. So fried chicken, I will just freeze it and then take it out of the freezer and stick it in the oven. And because it's already completely cooked, you really just need to reheat it. So when you put it in the oven, just heat it until it's crispy or however you want it done. Or you could even, like with the rotisserie chicken, I will probably like thaw it and then take all the meat off and make like chicken salad and stick it in a soup. And definitely keep the bones. If you're going to get a chicken like this, or if you receive a chicken like this, keep the bones and then boil them to make bone broth or stock or whatever you want to call it, because it makes awesome free broth for soup or other things that you want to eat. And so yes, that is all my meats. And then moving on to the breads, these are the final items that I received. I got a loaf of bread here, and when you look at these breads, you really want to look them over and make sure that they are not moldy. I have unfortunately had to throw away one package of bread that I have received from this in the past. Depending on how tight your budget is, You can totally just throw away the one roll that is moldy or just cut off the mold, but the whole loaf was moldy and there was no saving it. I couldn't just like cut off a piece of it. I had to take the whole thing. It was very sad. But anyway, I have these 8-pack of French steak rolls, and then over here another large loaf of bread. And again, these breads will be going in my freezer because I will not be able to eat this before it goes off. So the whole thing will be going in my freezer. You don't have to do anything special. Just stick the bag in there, and then when you want to use it, just take it out, let it thaw for however long it's going to take, and slice it up. It is just like you never did anything to it. And then for the fun things, my food pantry does give us a little bit of choice in what we pick. So they always have some sort of cooking fat. They've had lard, oil, butter, and all kinds of things. I mean, I guess that's really it. Lard, oil, and butter. They give you a choice. I usually choose butter because, as you saw, I have oil, and a bottle of oil lasts me forever. So I usually go with butter. And if you have butter already, like I have one from last month that I didn't finish, this will be going in the freezer. Love my freezer. Freezer keeps things good. And then they gave me a choice of, most of the time, they give me a choice of a type of juice, but this time they had condiments, which was nice. So I chose barbecue sauce. They had ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and all those other things, but I have all of those, so very grateful to have some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. This stuff is really good, very versatile. And then the fun things, they always have sweets as well. As you can see, these are all like from Walmart. Again, I don't know if Walmart donates these or if they just like, if they buy them because they're on clearance, but either way, this is a whole turtle brownie platter. That is, how much would you have paid? So it's $6.59 clearance price, but add $3.39. This was like $11 after tax. So what, like 10 something? I can't do that math in my head right now, but this is like $10 if you just bought this in store. And if you went to your food pantry, you would have gotten this completely free. In theory. All places are different. I said that in the beginning. I'm so sorry. But yeah, fun. You can also stick this in the freezer. I don't know if you can stick these cookies in the freezer. I'm sure you could. I probably will, just because this is a lot of sweets. And then I have 2 of these little cherry pies. My Walmart is always pushing these cherry pies. They make so many of them, and then they're surprised when they still have them and they have to clearance them. Like, what? These frosted sugar cookies are definitely Thanksgiving related. I saw a big display of them. And then they had extra stuff this time around. I went kind of later in the day. My food pantry is open for 4 hours, 3 times a week. And like I said, their stock varies by day. So sometimes they will actually give you extra stuff if you're kind of near the tail end of their day. And some of the stuff that they give you, yes, is off date, but they don't want to give it to you so far off date that it's bad. Because like I said, you can stick a bunch of this in the freezer, and they know that a lot of people will stick this in the freezer. So if they have extra stuff, like they told me they had more desserts than they usually do, they asked me if I wanted any other desserts, and all I asked for was this Baker's Dozen packet of donuts. They had other pies and stuff like that, but in my household it's way easier to just have donuts as a grab and go instead of like a whole pie. So that was another really awesome thing. I love the ladies at my food pantry. They're so nice, so cute, and they definitely do not judge. They're just like, hi, hello, how are you? I had one lady, she was just like, I'm so glad you're here. I'm sorry, we're still setting up the table. Like, can you give us a second? And she was so cute. I never feel upset about going. These ladies are like, hi, welcome. We have stuff for you. Have a nice day. And I love it. It's so nice. And it really makes me feel like that there is hope and that there are still people who care enough to be able to provide somebody all of this stuff for completely free. After I stop recording, I will go ahead and tally this up because I am interested in how much this would have cost me if I paid it all out of pocket. So I will leave that down in the description box. And that is the end of the haul. I hope this was entertaining. I hope this was educational. And if any of you guys need help out there, please do not feel shame or embarrassed or anything to reach out for help. Food insecurity and financial difficulties are real things that happen to real people every day, and sometimes we just need a little bit of help to bounce back and be able to take care of ourselves and even our families if you don't live just by yourself. So with that all being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will probably be making some future videos where I use this stuff to show you guys like how would I combine these things to even make a meal, because some people struggle with cooking, and you know, that's fine. You got to start somewhere. And we'll just get through all this together. I'm rambling. I need to shut up. I don't know how to end videos. I'm so sorry. But like I said, I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know what the next video will be, but you'll know it when you see it, I guess. All right. Bye.